Rugby. So today there was no rugby on this today at all for the Rugby World Cup. But what I'd like to do is just go through the games for tomorrow. So we've got France versus USA and then New Zealand versus Canada. I'm just going to give you the scores for the two games, what I think the point spread is going to be for those two games. And then I'm probably going to chat mostly about the New Zealand side because I know more about the New Zealand side, obviously from watching Super Rugby and things like that. And I've got a few ideas about their team selection and stuff like that. And then just some basic news that's happening out there in the big bad world that's just happened for the Rugby World Cup. Players that are leaving and then players that are replacing them. So first off, I'm just going to put this on the screen. So there we go. Tomorrow's game. Hey, Monenbach, welcome. We've got France versus USA. I've put France to win that game by 10 points. It could have been a lot more, but I think France have also got some wholesale changes that they're doing for that game. So I think it's going to be fairly close. The next one, we've got New Zealand versus Canada. I've put a whopping 53. It may have been higher than that, but I just know that New Zealand also have some wholesale loads of changes across the park for this game. And looking at the temperature and the humidity and just players being wet and things like that, I just think 50 plus points is a pretty hard ask, especially when you want to try save players for the bigger games. But yeah, I still see New Zealand winning that game absolutely comfortably. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to all the Barrett brothers are playing Monenbach. I'm just going to remove that from the stream, and then I'm going to add my other screen share, if you don't mind. So like I said, hey Sinbin, welcome to the show. That's Monenbach Sinbin. Sinbin's from, I think you stay in New Zealand. So I hope you guys have a wonderful chat there in the chats. But yeah, so I'm going to go through. Hey Joe, how's it going? Yeah, I did see that saying that 3 of the calls were wrong. Hey man, I did see it. I only read it in passing because I was preparing for this thing. But what I'm going to do tomorrow, I think when we discuss, I think tomorrow is let me just confirm that. Yeah, we've got the Ireland game the following day. So what we'll do is we'll discuss those ref calls then. Because three offside calls that went that shouldn't have happened. But yeah, it just shows that the refs are under extreme microscope at the moment. So a lot could happen. So yeah, but I don't think it's the refs' fault. That's more it's the touch judges that should have picked up the offside lines. I'm sure that's where they should be looking. They should be looking at the offside lines, whereas the refs should be actually looking at the ball and the players around the ball. So yeah, I think. But yeah, there was big news that came out today. So, but let's leave that for tomorrow. I agree with you there. I agree with you there. There were some refs that have been left out that have been. See, the problem with the TMO. Remember, we took the power away from the TMO, and the TMO used to be able to say check and talk directly to the ref. And we were getting pissed off with it, and then we said, no, the power must go back to the ref. So now the TMO can't bring in that much. Even if he sees offsides, he can't really say offside. All he can do is for citing, not for an infringement like that. So yeah, it's a tough call. That's a really, really tough call, that one. But yeah, let's leave that for tomorrow's discussion. Let's talk about the All Blacks now. So here we go. I'm just going to put the team sheet up. So the wholesale changes across the park. So I'm just going to go through the team sheet quickly. We've got Otto Moli, Liam Coltman, Angus Ta'ava, Patrick Tuipulotu, Scott Barrett. Yeah, actually, and it's quite strange. There's only one South African ref, one South African TMO. I think there's only one New Zealand ref. I'm trying to think. Obviously, Angus Gardner, who flip, So yeah, I just think for South Africa, not that South Africa has that many great refs. Only Jaco I think Jaco is world class. He really knows how to do the Canada for the upset, Mr. Rugby fan. I must admit, if Canada win tomorrow, I'll eat 10 habaneros, and that's going to be. It's just one South African ref and one New Zealand ref, and it just seems kind of strange that there's so many French refs, no Irish refs like you said. Obviously, one Welsh ref, a few English refs, but most of them are French. So I don't know why that is the case, but let's just leave it at that. Geordie's a 50. Now I agree with you if Geordie's a 50. But let me go through the team. Atumali at 1, Liam Coltman at 2, Angus Taava at 3, Patrick Tupelutu at 4, Scott Barrett at 5, Shannon Frizzell at 6, Matt Todd at 7, Kieran Reid at 8. Imagine Kieran Reid at 9. 9, TJ Perinara, 10, Richie Mwanga, 11, Rico Ioane, 12, Sonny Bill Williams, 13, Jack Goodhue, 14, Geordie Barrett, and 15, Bowden Barrett. So all Barretts are starting. That's must be exactly. I have to laugh at that, Mr. Rugby fan. There are some teams that can probably cause an upset, but we're talking, when you're talking Namibia, the Canadas, and that of the world, I don't see it happening. So look, it's not their traditional starting 15, but it's still, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say it now. I have a feeling that a Mitre 10 side could take out the Canadians tomorrow. Let's be 100% honest. I think that could be the case. Maybe not a Mitre 10, maybe a weakish. What's the weakest? Blues. The Blues could probably take out Canada. I know lots of Blues supporters out there. But the Blues could probably take on Canada. Then on the bench we've got Cody Taylor, Ofa Tungafasi, Nipu Leolala, Samuel Whitelock, Artie Sevilla, Brad Weber, Ryan Crotty, and Ben Smith. So still a really strong squad. So obviously not playing Dan Coles, no Joe Moody, Rebels, you bugger. I can't. You know what, Joe? It's so strange. I'm a Bulls supporter of note. I'm used to losing all the time. I'm used to being bottom of the pile. Obviously we won a long time ago, but it's hard being sometimes a supporter of your team. We can't all support the Leinsters of the world. So it's tough. But I'm just going to go through some of the players. I've always liked Angus Taava. I think he's a really good tight head, and I really like the way that he's quite an intelligent player, which I really like about him. And Artie Sevilla on the wing next game. I'm sure of it. I like Angus Taava. Patrick Tupelutu, he has to really step up because we don't know if. Who's the big guy, man? The Brodinator, Brody Retallick. We haven't seen if he's back yet. So I'm not really sure how good his health is at the moment, but I'm sure he'll be back in the quarters. And I think he needs to step up because he has been playing really well. Scott Barrett, I like Scott Barrett. I think I'm not going to say he's better than Bowden. He's much better than Geordie, but I think he brings something really special, and he fulfills that blindside kind of role. Scott Barrett, I really do think he fills that blindside kind of role, which I think is quite missing. Matt Todd is a complete open side. Shannon Frizzell hasn't blown me away. Kieran Reid, I would have probably rested Kieran Reid for this game. I don't know what you guys think. who did they have? Oh, like Artie Sevilla, they could have played at 8th man. Maybe because of the eye thing with his eye causing issues, maybe they just want to start him off the bench rather, and that's why Kieran Reid's there. But if it was a perfect world, I probably would have. Would you want Artie Sevilla, or would you want Kieran Reid injured with an injury? That's a tough call. It's nice to see TJ Perenara starting. I like TJ Perenara. He always reminds me of a US Van der Westhuizen kind of a scrum off, and that's a seriously big compliment. Because for me, US Van der Westhuizen was an absolutely sublime number 9. I think my wife said she kissed him once. I have to like him at some point, so well before me. So, but TJ Perenara playing, I really like him. He brings something a little different, a little bit more physicality. And yeah, it's great. They're continuing with their 10-15, what do they call it? Boanga, something like that thing. So they're continuing with it. I do like Aaron Smith's speed of service, but yeah, I agree with you there. 100%. Yeah, my wife is a big All Black fan, like much like bigger than most bloody New Zealanders. So yeah, so but I like TJ Perenara. I do like the way Aaron Smith has his service, and he's very, very quick off the base of the ruck, and that's very, very good. But he can get unstuck. That last game that he played against South Africa, his kicks were just absolutely on point. So yeah, he does step up at the right games. But this is the kind of game that I think TJ Perenara will fit right in. I think it's going to be a fairly dominant kind of game. I've got a feeling the tries are just going to absolutely flow. Definitely a bonus point victory. Rieko Ioane starting at 11. I haven't been very impressed with Rieko Ioane this year. I have a feeling that I really don't know why he's at the Blues. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that it's winning becomes a bit of a habit, and you can see why most of the team's made up of Crusaders. And Rieko Ioane, for me, last year was the best winger in the world, bar none. There was no one better than him. And this year, he just seems very, very off. I agree with you there, Joe. It's just sometimes when there's a really good number 9 on the other side, I just think he can get a little bit unstuck. Whereas TJ Perenara just has that physicality for me. And then Brad Weber, who's coming off the bench, probably the in-form number 9 at Super Rugby. Well deserved for him to be there. And wait till he comes on. He's like a real live wire. I think he's closer to Aaron Smith maybe than TJ Perenara. Yeah, well, besides that, Rieko Ioane obviously on the wing. I'm so glad. I'm glad to see him, and I'm just hope that he can get his mojo back, because not that I don't like Bridge. I really do like Bridge as a player. I just think when Rieko Ioane is on form, he is just absolutely sublime. But if he's not, then Bridge must take over that position. That's just the way it should be. So I'm hoping that he scores at least a hat trick tomorrow, and then he can put his hand up for contention for the next big game. 12, Sonny Bill Williams. We all know what Sonny Bill Williams brings. I was chatting to someone in New Zealand. They were saying Sonny Bill Williams is like Damien de Allende in South Africa. You either like him or you don't, and that's just the way it is. Sorry, I'm just 75. I'm just going to put that actually up because people should actually see that. That is I think so too. But there's only been one 50-plus game so far, and that was South Africa against Namibia. It could have been a lot higher, so I think they took it off took their foot off the gas. But yeah, I got a feeling it's going to be a 70-plus game. I think a lot of the Canadians are amateurs. They're not professionals. So yeah, I think that only their lock. What's their lock's name? He plays for the Chiefs. Tyler Ardron. I think that's how you pronounce it. I think he's the only real international kind of class kind of player that I know of. in that team. Maybe they've got some 7 stars that are there because they do have a good 7 team. Yeah, it's going to be a long day for the Canadians tomorrow. But yeah, at the end of the day, these guys, it's probably going to be the only World Cup. If you've been playing rugby your whole life, you can just imagine it must just be the absolute pinnacle of your career, regardless of how small it is, to face the All Blacks at a World Cup. So, yeah, coming off Sonny Bill Williams, you know what he brings. My favourite player is Jack Goodhue. I think the mullet man is just, I think I really like him. I like the way he plays for the Crusaders. I prefer him inside Ryan Crotty. I think Ryan Crotty gives him better ball, but I just like the way that he plays. I know that Anton Leonard-Brown has probably taken that position away from him because I do think ALB is an absolutely sublime player. But yeah, Jack Goodhue is one of my absolute favourite players. I think he has the right kind of physicality and everything. Canada won it. I have to laugh at that. And Mr. Rugby fan, if you get that right, that would be the biggest upset ever. I think it's only. I honestly feel the All Blacks probably only have to play for 15 minutes and they'd still win it by 100. Yeah, I do agree with that. Mullet makes Goodhue run faster. Yeah, but he works that mullet, eh? Let's be honest, he does work that mullet hard. All right, yeah. That's exactly what it means then, Joe. It's you can put you've worked your whole life and you play some club rugby and stuff like that, and you've always known that the best team in the world is the All Blacks, and you're going to get to face them. How many people can actually say that ever? Geordie Barrett, I don't know about Geordie Barrett. He's a player that actually he can drive me a bit batty. It's almost like he lives in the shadow of his brother, his big brother, and he's trying to be like his big brother, and he's just not getting it right. And I don't mean that in a horrible way. I just think, or maybe I do, maybe it's coming out in a horrible way. I just think Geordie Barrett's not my all-time favorite player. When he's on song, he's amazing, but he can really do some strange things. Throwing in from the line, trying to do quick line-outs and things like that, and he can really come unstuck. I don't want to be harsh or anything like that. It's just I used to never knock players, and I shouldn't actually knock players. And I just think he just needs to relax. Just play what he's good at. Play decent rugby. Just relax. Enjoy what he does, and it will improve. Last but not least, we've obviously got Beauden Barrett, World Player of the Year for 2 years in a row. So Beauden Barrett, World Player of the Year 2 years in a row. I think he's absolutely amazing. I think he's an absolutely great player. But then obviously coming off the bench, we've got that's a seriously strong bench. Ardie Savea going to wear his goggles. And look, at the end of the day, if you're going to protect your eyes, you're going to protect your eyes. Ardie Savea has actually started a podcast. It's actually on YouTube. Joe, I don't know. Okay, let's compare Beauden Barrett against Johnny Sexton. Okay, let's compare them. I think Johnny Sexton is probably the best 10 in the world. I'm not going to deny it. Guy's got excellent game management. He can kick, and he's got a high percentage rate for kicks and things like that. So from a number 10, tactical 10 and things like that, I think he must be one of the top number 10s in the world. But I think Beauden Barrett's a better rugby player overall. I just think Beauden Barrett is the complete package. He's not the best 10. Is he the best 10 in the world? But he's not the best 10 because of being a fly half's traditional skill or first five's traditional skill. For me, the players. I agree with you there, Mr. Rugby fan. Yeah, it's just it's hard to compare them all to each other because you take like Owen Farrell's very different player to Johnny Sexton, who's a very different player to Bowden Barrett, who's a very different player to Andre Pollard. So I think they're all very good in their own ways. But yeah, it's a seriously strong bench. That Ben Smith, second best fullback in the world at the moment. Oh, I hate to say that because, geez, I think Ben Smith is just awesome. Yeah, I agree with you there, Joe. Bowden Barrett is the complete player, but you wouldn't see Johnny Sexton playing outside centre, but you could see Bowden Barrett pulling it off. Let's put it that way. Or Bowden Barrett playing wing. You couldn't see Johnny Sexton doing it. So I think that's how we should maybe look at it. But yeah, very, very strong bench coming there. Samuel Whitelock's going to really bring some great impact. Ryan Crotty, absolute favourite player. I think Ryan Crotty by far is the best tactical 12 currently playing. I honestly think Ryan Crotty is the best tactical 12. Much better than all of them. I think Simon Karevi is probably one of the best 12s for me. I just think he plays really, but Ryan Crotty, he's got a boot. He plays heads-up rugby. He's an excellent distributor. He's a tackle machine. And for me, probably one of the best 12s. There's a lot of good 13s out there. But Tuolongi, ALB, who's the guy from, not Wales? I think it's Wales. Not Hadley Parks, it's the other one. Yeah, there's a few. But Ryan Crotty for me is probably the best. When he played that one game, I can't remember, I think it was against Australia, that second game against Australia, you could see the difference that he brings on the park when he's there. He is absolutely, Williams, I think he's absolutely amazing. Jonathan Davies, yeah. It's just there are so many good 13s out there. But yeah, for me, Ryan Crotty is probably the best tactical 12. I'm going to say it. Say it there, skin me alive or whatever. I just think the guy's absolutely amazing. It's a pity that he always gets injured, and that's the big thing that's a little bit hard. It's difficult. Is it been concussion injuries, or has it mainly been body injuries? It's like for me. Who was the 10 that played for South Africa, the blonde hair, just recently retired, also from concussions. I'll remember it later. But yeah, so that's the All Blacks team that's going to face Canada. I feel for Canada. I'm expecting a T20 kind of, that's it, Patrick Lambie. But yeah, I think it's going to be an absolute slaughterfest out there. Yeah, Pat Lambie. I think it's going to be an absolute slaughterfest out there. I just think New Zealand are going to absolutely smash Canada. I have a feeling, I could be wrong, that Namibia have targeted the Canadian game as their first victory ever at a World Cup. I have that feeling. That's why they were risk. Yeah. CJ Standard did hurt him bad. That was when his concussion problem started. It was actually quite strange because he had that big concussion from that, and it just seemed like it compounded every single time he'd come back, and he'd get concussed very, very quickly. So, yeah. Mr. Rugby fan, you welcome back here any time you want. Really, really, you are, because that's. I think it's highly entertaining. Somebody is really into their team, into the Canadians, big time. So yeah, that's the two games for tomorrow. It should be quite entertaining. I definitely agree with you, Joe. But I'm expecting two entertaining games. One, because we're going to see New Zealand do what New Zealand do, and that's score tries from anywhere, run from their try line and score a try, kick and jump and catch and do those crazy offloads that no one ever attempts, and there always seems to be another New Zealander just standing there waiting for the ball and running into space, and then they offload, and then there's another New Zealander there, and then there's another New Zealander there, and another New Zealander there, and then they score. Yeah, I can see a bit of an argument starting here, but we were going to finish the show fairly quickly, so we'll just let it go from there. But yeah, guys, tomorrow I'm obviously gonna do the same preview review, and so we'll review those games, and then obviously we've got the Georgia Fiji, which I think could be quite an interesting game, and then obviously Ireland Russia, the other big game of the day. I just see Ireland. Yeah, I agree. But listen, guys, that's me, my show in a nutshell. Please tune in tomorrow at 6. I actually have Modern Bok joining me. So instead of taking him out in the comments, you actually can take him out on the screen. So he's going to join me for the breakdown of the two games, and then obviously we're just going to discuss the next two games. I'm probably going to focus mostly on Ireland. I generally try to do that. I try to focus on one of the top tier teams when I talk for the preview. Yeah, guys, I must apologize again for yesterday. That was a complete brain fart moment. I thought I'd set it to 6 and I'd set it to 7. I'm terribly sorry. So I won't do that again. But yeah, I've got Modern Bok joining me tomorrow, and we're going to discuss the games, and we're going to discuss the preview, the next games. But listen, guys, I really hope that you enjoy your rugby tomorrow. You have an absolutely wonderful day wherever you are in the world. You just try to treat each other with love and respect, and everything will be good. Okay, guys, chat soon. Cheers. Bye.